I don't imagine you ever cast Battle Smasher unless you're very much losing the game and you don't even have mana to activate Thrasios.
MTG Basics. Keep it basic.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Raul, and I'm joined by the myth, the man, the legend, Joseph.
Hello, everybody. How you guys doing today?
Welcome back, Joseph. I think you were sick last time we recorded, so glad to see you feeling better.
Still, no, I'm just kidding. All good now. I'm excited for today, and we've got some awesome topics.
We do got some really cool topics. We're both back and fresh from Frenzy at the Falls that happened this past weekend.
Yep.
Or I guess 2 weekends from when the videos comes out.
True.
We're going to be talking about Frenzy at the Falls, a giveaway, and another unique Thrasios deck.
Spicy too.
Which is yours and my favorite word, Thrasios.
I love Thrasios. The boy.
The man, the band, the boy, everything. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So as folks know, we did like a small sort of ish giveaway this past couple of weeks, and it got confusing and everything got a mess. That's my fault, my bad. Already been yelled at. The Scrubland was claimed, and I'm shipping it to Europe.
To Netherlands, right?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations from all the way from Europe. They'll be getting the Scrubland, so that's pretty cool. We're making sending cards that way across the pond, and then so that ends that. But then while we were also doing that, we were also giving a giveaway for like a what is the thing called?
The
encyclopedia.
Yeah.
And I think the Money Consultation won, but we didn't want to get it all weird and mixed up. So Joseph and I are going to be doing the giveaway in the following podcast.
Next video, yeah.
We'll give you the instructions on what you need to be doing, and it will be super clear, crystal, and it'll be like a nice Christmas gift, if you will.
Nice and easy.
Yeah. So that's a giveaway. Tune in next time to find out more. So with that, I think we can go ahead and start talking about Frenzy at the Falls. How was it for you, Joseph? How was your experience?
Oh, I had an amazing time. I know a lot of people were tuning into the stream. I think we peaked at around 550 concurrent viewers for a while. That was super awesome to see. Thank you guys again. No, I had a wonderful time casting and like hanging out with all the folks. It was weird not playing though, I will say. A lot of people talking about their rounds and matches, and I'm like, dang, I'm not playing this time. That's so weird. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, I remember my first time not playing at a tournament, just kind of like joining the stream.
Yeah,
it did feel very weird, just like people talking about their rounds and stuff like that, and you're kind of just like, oh,
I don't have anything to talk about with you right now.
It's like a FOMO fuel, because sometimes when I'm watching some games, I'm like, God, I wish I was playing right now. I wish I was in that seat, just playing and getting in the trenches with people.
I think the difference really for me was like because it's such a far travel for us, right? And like we went on basically a mini vacation, and then kind of working it. I mean, I know you're more used to it, but for me, it was very interesting because I only ever travel to play for tournaments. It was very awesome though. Again, no actual complaints, just like a little bit of a weirdness.
Yeah. So, just thoughts on the tournament. I think the tournament ran pretty well. Baldy runs a pretty tight ship.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any complaints on how everything was run. The tournaments ended earlier.
Yeah.
Again, continues to say that the meta continues to speed up.
Yes.
I think the longest game we got to see was the finals.
Yes.
Which was kind of funny because they were the composition. I didn't expect it to last that long, but it was just one turn took forever, if you will.
It was just that one turn, I think, took like over an hour.
Basically.
Everything else was very fast, very quick. Again, people were playing not necessarily all turbo decks, but like in the finals, it was very turbo slanted still, even for the control decks, right?
Some rounds finish in like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Like Evan Freedom Waffle playing Kinnan was walking around done with his rounds in like 16
all
minutes.
Of them. Yeah. I think he had like one super long game besides the finals. I mean, the one on stream, it lasted maybe 15-20 minutes. He just had a basalt and then found a win. Like that was just fast. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It was a very good tournament in terms of issues. Again, I didn't see really anything go wrong. No times that went to or no rounds that went to time like went super crazy. It was like maybe 20 minutes, and that was full cutoff.
I think the time limit of 20 minutes hard cutoff is the best thing we probably did for tournaments this year.
I agree that it's been much better recently, especially with all the turbo, because then once the second you get into a non-turbo game, you actually have a cutoff, so you can't just like play infinity game and like, well, I'm gonna think 5 minutes on this game action. Like, no, you're going right now, or I'm calling a judge and you're hurrying up. Like, we don't have time to do this.
Please take game actions
always.
And I think we saw a handful of Georges even on stream like enforce like slow play.
Yeah,
like you're getting a warning because you're not. It's been 5 minutes and you haven't done anything.
Exactly, and that happened again a few times on stream to the players there. So it's very, I think, becoming better over time, and we'll see it be even better soon.
Yeah. Other thoughts? I think it was really cool to see a lot of folks that were just there as well. I think Baldy's staff was really helpful and really good for us. He gave us like I said, Baldy like helped us quite a bit. making sure we were taken care of and that everything was like done, that we had everything that we needed essentially to succeed.
Exactly.
So that was really good for him because sometimes when I go to some tournaments, it's like you're in the Wild West and good luck.
Oh 07, I'm not gonna help you out. You're gonna have to run your own ship. You're like, oh, okay.
Rip.
Whatever, I'll try.
And it is what it is. And then I just want to do a huge shout out to you and Hire. I think you guys did an outstanding job casting. Both I think Hire has casted in the past, but this is your first casting debut, and I think you guys knocked it out of the park. I think it was pretty well received. Again, I've been monitoring the social media, and typically, if cEDH players aren't complaining about something,
thumbs up. No, I think exactly what you said is right. Like a lot of people in our scene, a lot of people even in this video watching, right? Like we'll see good things, maybe not necessarily say anything, but that's okay. You don't have to like comment, say you loved everything, right? But when you see a comment that says something bad, that means something was bad, at least to them. So in this kind of scenario, I think no feedback and or good feedback is only good feedback. So we didn't see a ton of negative stuff. Again, if there's anything you guys saw you wanted to change, let us know, because again, we want to improve. We don't want this to be something we like coast off of and not do a good job on. We want to and keep improving, making things better for you guys too. So
sure,
please let us know. Again, comment, Discord messages, the server, anything like that. Just tell us if there's problems or issues.
Yeah, I guess I'll say that I did hear a lot of good feedback from just friends of the channel and friends just like sending direct messages like, hey, you guys are doing a really good job. Keep it up or whatever. So that was really cool to hear. The only, I guess, constructive feedback that we got was turn more player audio on.
Yes.
And I'm going to push back against that a little bit because I understand we could have done probably a better job at doing that. Sure. I think, I guess I have to explain it for people and like from the production's point of view. It's like,
from the stream, right?
From the stream perspective, right? We take a risk anytime we turn player audio on because we don't know how these players are going to behave with each other. And that puts like liability on us, if you will, if they start cursing and stuff, doing stuff like that. Because I run stream like at our local game stores where people will just curse left and right. And I can't have that if I have a sponsor stream.
Yeah.
We can't, like, it needs to be PG-13, it needs to be like appropriate language, right? So I can
it needs to be somewhat filtered, right?
Yeah, and I can't have like players just be natural, which is fine. They can do whatever they want. So we have to like keep an eye on that. So every time we turn their player audio, there's a risk, right? And I understand that there is politics is very important for our format. So I just want folks to understand that. Additionally, like we also have ears and eyes on the table. So anytime there's a lot of politicking, somebody that's watching the game will tell us. And sometimes the politics will end as we start tuning in.
Yeah.
Because I can't be like, all right, casters, drop your thought and listen in, right? The casters need to finish their thought, need to flesh out what they're talking about before we change out.
And then also we have to like finish the thought. We have to say we're going to swap. So Raul knows we're going to swap. We have to stop talking, mute ourselves, unmute the stream. Like there is a process involved in it. It's not like a one button click, immediately move over, right?
Yeah.
And because there's, again, Raul running a stream and then casters talking, it's kind of an interesting like,
it's like a telephone game.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm gonna say something to Raul. Raul's gonna do something to the computer's gonna turn on. You guys are gonna hear on the stream after. It's again, it's a process. So I am not sure how many people like, and not a bad thing, recognize that there's like way more going on behind the scenes than just like again pressing one button and it just going over to them.
It's magic.
It's magic from the viewer's perspective.
And when that happens, the politicking could be over.
Exactly.
Now we're listening to nothing.
Or it gets very disinteresting and someone fetches and then we have to wait 5 minutes for their fetch to end and we're like, well, we just tuned in for nothing. Well, I'm sorry, guys. We're back and we're talking. And then they start doing something and I'm like, oh, let's go back.
Yeah, so that's
interesting.
We'll get better at it as we get more practice. Definitely we'll teach the people that are watching the game to be more keen on it. I always listen to the audio as well, so I try to like understand as well. So it's a balancing act. I'm not saying we did an amazing job, but I just want folks to know that we just can't have the player audio on all the time. Because if you're doing that, then I just invite you to watch the level 7 streams Fridays, Saturdays, where I just literally have the player audio on at all times. It's just we're going for a different experience that it's more produced and higher quality in my perspective.
I think a good way to think about it too is those weeklies are more like, again, to show everyone the games and just to watch the games. But then these bigger streams where we're again commentating, we're actually like full on broadcasting and doing everything to make it good for you guys is like a show.
Yeah.
It's something where we want it to be entertaining at all times. So we're
for everybody.
For everybody, right?
You can't assume everybody knows is a tournament cEDH grant.
No.
It needs to be like for everybody.
Exactly.
As you would watch any like a sports commentary.
Like
extent or another.
A touchdown. Like I know everyone knows it's a touchdown, right? But like we need to say that it was a touchdown so that people who are newer or younger or like getting into the scene understand that was a touchdown. Weird analogy, I think, but it's really good to
authorical decon.
Authorical decon is like, well, no one knows what that means. Like if this resolves, I have to say, if this resolves, this player's going to win the game because of no library
Yeah.
and the trigger will resolve, or something like that. It's just interesting to think about that from more of a production side than a viewer side.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's just not a rant. But I just want folks to understand that we take any feedback, we hear it and we see it and we try
Yeah.
to like improve on it, and we'll continue to improve because we're not done yet. We have a lot of different projects and plans to continue improving. So
Oh, 100%. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. We're going up.
we're going up, 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 and up. But right now we're actually going to a Thrasios corner really quick.
Thrasios corner.
It's actually the Thrasios video because we're going to be talking a lot more about Thrasios.
Secret Thrasios.
Secret Thrasios. So, friend of the channel, Kevin
Yep, Varric.
Barracks,
Mhm.
the myth, the man, the legend,
My goat.
the goat.
The owner of Team Zenith.
Oh, he's the owner of Team Zenith?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's really cool. So the owner of Team Zenith, which is a cEDH official, unofficial team
Yeah, official team.
that has a lot of grinders in here. I know Jonah, and Evan Freedom Waffle are part of this team.
Yep.
So he created a Thrasios Vial list, and I'm going to be sharing it here so we can all start seeing it.
It's spicy.
And it is spicy.
I love spice.
The first glance at it, it was like Blue Farm without silence effects. That was just my first opinion of it. But we're going to talk through it and just kind of like digest the deck. And I think it sounds like he's been doing really well with his deck, and it's like a new potential deck because Thrasios Vial kind of died after Dockside got banned.
I totally agree. And I think now that we have things like Cabbage Merchant again to like filter in a lot more mana on other people's turns, you're being able to do more of the, and you'll see in a second, more Necro stuff, more Naz stuff. You have more mana to be able to, Manamorphose on someone's turn with a Born Upon a Wind or whatever it is. You have more options now that you have better colors, and you don't necessarily need white for silence effects when you just are turbo necroing or Nazing. That mana engine, something like Cabbage Man, will actually shift this deck into a much better position. You'll see it's built much more around it than it used to be, right? It's super, super cool. And I think, like you said, he's been doing well with it, and he's been reporting to us like, this deck's actually good. Again, it's back.
Play it more.
Play it more.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So our commanders are Thrasios and Vial Smasher. I don't imagine you ever cast Vial Smasher unless you're very much losing the game and you don't even have mana to activate Thrasios.
No. What does Vial Smasher do?
Vial Smasher reads. It's a colorless black-red creature, which reads, whenever you cast your first spell each turn, choose an opponent at random, and then it deals damage to that spell's mana cost.
Yeah. It is simply just another partner. It's like Silas Wren, right? You're never really using Silas Wren or Vial Smasher. You're using it for the colors and the ability to win the game later because you now have Breach, you now have Tutors, you have Demonic Consultation with Oracle, you have things like that, right? Where you can actually win the game. And
we'll look at the instance, but I wonder if he runs Red Flare, and that might be a reason you want to cast this.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Right? As a potential creature to sacrifice.
I can see that, yeah.
So we'll look. We haven't spoiled this too much, so we'll see if this runs it. And again, you typically don't cast this card ever unless you literally only have 3 mana because 4 mana is a Thrasios activation, and that's better than playing this card.
And a card is better than doing nothing, and I guess dealing some damage.
Oh, spice!
cEDH burns.
Looking at the creatures, 13 creature package. Do you wanna? I guess we'll go through all the dorks.
Yeah.
And then kind of just talk about some spot outs or cards that jump out at us. So we have Birds of Paradise, a typical cEDH standard dork, makes any mana of any color.
Yep.
Deathrite Shaman, it's Graveyard Hate, also makes mana of any color, 1/2, so survives the dork. Orcish Bowmaster.
Yep.
And then you can also potentially interact with like graveyard cards, like maybe you get rid of Intuition or something like that, or the
Brain Freeze for a brief line.
Yeah.
Exiles creatures maybe in response to, I don't know, Hazels or I guess Soul Cauldron, some stuff like that. There is some relevant text on this card besides being a mana dork too.
Sometimes in Modern use you got called the mini Planeswalker.
It's a mini Planeswalker for sure. It's 2 different colors, a 1/2, has 3 different abilities, and it's a Shaman. It's cool.
It's pretty gas. Delata Halfling, another standard cEDH all-star dork, makes it's a 1/2 green creature that either makes colorless or if you tap it, it makes a legendary spell you're about to cast uncounterable, which is pretty good.
Which, again, we'll say it later. I know I'm spoiling a little bit. There's a Necrodominance in this deck, which would make your Necrodominance uncounterable.
Oh,
super spicy.
Gas.
Super spicy.
That's actually gas.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
You're like, oh, my Necrodom's on the sack. They're like, counterspell. I'm like, okay, resolves. My Necrodom is still on the sack. They're like, huh? I can't do it with my Halfling? Oh, crap.
My Necro is still in the stack.
Yeah.
So funny. That's cool. Other quote-unquote dorks, Elvish Spirit Guy is just a picture for a green. It's a red Seeming Spirit Guy, which I assume Seeming Spirit Guy it's here. You picture for a red. Ignoble Hierarch is just your Noble Hierarch back for Mardu colors.
Exactly.
We've got Ragavan, which is some card selection and then just makes mana as well.
again, if we do see a red flare, this is another good target to
Yep.
stack for it, right?
Yep. We have Thunderwall, which makes 2 red, and it's, I guess, a blocker for Pemna, maybe.
True.
If you don't want to
It's
use
a wall.
It's a wall, hey. It's an 0/3 wall. And then cards are just kind of like are different. We have Magus of the
No, that's Dosen.
Dosing of the
Yeah.
Leaves, which I'm gonna read the English version because I don't speak whatever language this is. It's oh Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay. Well, oh, that's just the flavor text. Okay,
Okay.
you can read it. Yeah.
Dozen of the Falling Leaf. It's a colorless 2 green, a legendary creature human monk. Players can cast spells only during their own turns. It is
Bigger
defense
defense grid. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't pay extra mana into it.
No, you cannot. So card is interesting because sometimes if you get stopped and this is still on the battlefield, you just throw the game to somebody else.
Probably. That actually is the only relevant card of text on this card because you're like, I'll cast a Dosen, and they're like silence, and you're like, oh, pass priority on silence. Go ahead. Here's a Dosen. You have a second silence now.
Good luck.
I can't do anything about it. You know, the card's very good. It's hard
to play with.
It's hard to play with and play around, but if you have an effect that can tutor into the battlefield and your opponents aren't expecting it, it becomes 10 times better because again, casting a Dosen is scary and you can get around that potentially, but you can't necessarily get around like it going out of the battlefield, you not expecting it. Now you just can't respond, right? It's their turn. They have it in play. You can't do anything except Otawara, Besage things, and that's really it. So you have to be very careful playing this card.
Yeah, notably, I guess something to note is a legendary creature, so the Ladder Halfling can cast this.
Same thing, right?
Terrible.
I'll cast this Force of Will. Okay. Resolves.
Pass.
Dosen is on the stack still. Like, oh no.
I wonder if Cavern of Souls is in this deck as well as we go through it.
That'd be kind of hot.
Yeah, I mean it's what you do for Grand Abolisher, right? That's what Blue Farm and TNT do. Just to be cute.
I'm really curious because again, Dosen specifically, we'll see later. There's again more Necro, more Nas things. How often it becomes relevant because a lot of the time I feel like you might be pushing on your opponent's turns with things like Born Upon Valley Flip Caller.
You don't want to cast this if it's not your turn.
Oh gosh, no. Sometimes it'll be a dead card if those are the ways you're winning, but like at the same time, because you don't have white for sounds effects, you kind of just need this. So I'm very curious to see the rest of this list.
Yeah, we'll keep going through it. A Stormkill Artist, otherwise known as Ka.
Yep.
It's 4 mana, 3 colorless, 1 red. Stormkill Artist gets +1 for each artifact you control. That's not relevant. Murdercraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a treasure token.
Do you know what's really good at making a bunch of spells?
Curious Control.
This deck, but also things that have Storm. If you pair this card with anything that has Storm, you make a boatload of mana.
Fossil Storm, Brain Freeze.
Yes. I mean, there's not too many other ones, but
those are the 2 relevants.
Yeah. I've seen some very interesting cards get cast in the past that I was like, there's a Storm spell that says you gain 3 life, I think is all.
Oh, sure, I've seen that. The scroll one too.
Yeah.
Shatterstorm.
Shatterstorm's also very sometimes relevant, not necessarily in these decks, but it's very funny. But no, this is like exactly what you want again to get down your Necro, your Nas, or your Engine, right? You can simply just sit behind all the mana, and because they're treasures, they don't go away unless you sacrifice them. You have them forever, and they're just chilling there. And like, oh, I'll just cast a Dosen on my turn and then Nas. I don't need a Nas on your end step anymore. I have 12 mana. I'll just wait to do it. It's really good.
Yeah. Other creatures. So we have 3 more creatures. I'll talk about the Cabbage Merchant real quick.
Yep.
Because that one falls under the mana category of this deck, which basically is everything except a few of these.
Pretty much everything's mana, yeah.
Yeah. The Cabbage Merchant is 2 colorless and then 1 green legendary creature. Can also not be countered by the Light Halfling. Human Citizen. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, create a food token. We've talked about this card ad nauseum. And then if you deal combat damage to you, you sacrifice a creature food token.
Yes.
Essentially, anytime there's a stack war or anytime anybody's developing their war with artifacts, rituals, tutoring, etc., etc., you make a food token.
Rhystic Studies, yeah, all of it. This card is super good, and I think again the reason why Kevin kind of put this list back together is because now you have, I mean, you already have the creatures that make mana by themselves, but now you have a creature that parodies off your opponent's casting spells, making you mana. It's kind of like again a Smothering Tithe. You're not doing anything, you're making mana for your opponents doing things, which is exactly what you want in this kind of parasocial format right now.
Yeah. Then we have Valley Flood Caller, which is 2 colors and 1 blue. Flash. You may cast non-creature spells as though they had flash, and that's kind of one of the more or less the only relevant text for this card. Obviously, it pumps non-creature. It gets pumped and it untaps otters, birds.
Your
frogs.
Birds of Paradise. That's relevant.
I guess that is relevant for more mana.
There might be a Paradise Mantle in here, which would also make it relevant. In
If-
case it keeps untapping.
You
The,
typically only see that with Rockdrass.
I think so too, but
we'll see.
depending on how he built this deck, there's a possibility.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
So it's just your Fashion Enabler, and then you have Thoracle, which is just essentially win the game.
Yeah.
It's just one of your win cons. So the deck, as you said, a lot of these creatures are all mana. You have one silence effect, and then you have a flash speed and your win con.
That's it. Everything
it.
else is mana.
So I imagine we're going to see a boatload of non-creature spells.
Oh yeah, I think mostly instants for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, this is what it reminded me of, like Blue Farm, because it's like so low on the creatures, a bunch of sorceries and instants.
Oh yeah, 30 instants. We saw that for a brief second. That's
Oh my goodness gracious. So let's go ahead and get started with our sorceries. Let's start with the tutor package.
Yeah.
So we have Beseech Samiro, Demonic Tutor, Diabolic Intent, Gamble, Imperial Seal, Praetor's Grafts, technically a tutor.
Yeah.
It's also destruction
Disruption.
for your opponents. So that looks like those are only tutors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And those are all just the sorcery speed tutors.
Sorcery speed tutors. So pretty standard package for tutors, I think.
Yes, I think so for sure. I think especially with kind of, again, talking about the cabbage merchant and stuff like this, we've been seeing so much more Beseech the Mirror recently, and there's a really good reason for that, because you will more often than not now have any artifact, enchantment, token, like a Swan Song token lying around where you just go, cool, sacrifice it. I'm going to put any spell in the stack of my deck. The only thing it can't cast is things 5 or greater, like an Adnaz is, but like, oh no, I have a Necropotence instead of an Adnaz. Thumbs up.
Or about Dozen.
Or I have a Dosen on the stack. Thumbs up. You know, my Stormkiln Artist, my Underworld Breach, my
Mnemonic
Yawgmoth
Betrayal,
Spell, Mnemonic Betrayal. All these things can now get cast at whatever speed you're actually at, because if you're at sorcery speed and you put another sorcerer in the stack, it still works. But if you're at flash speed, you can still cast an Underworld Breach, because that's how timing restrictions work with Beseech the Mirror. We're seeing it a lot more, and it's, I think, become so much of a better card over the past 3 months. No one's really talking about it. But
No, I've seen, actually, like you pointed out, I've seen Beseech Samiro started getting played more and more. And it's still because of what you said, of just like that extra, just random artifact. You already tap your food token, you're not using it this turn.
exactly.
Let's go use it for something else.
I have an extra treasure token.
Yeah.
I have an extra, again, Swan token. Someone gave me a Forbidden Orchard Spirit. I'll
Yeah.
sack that. I'll do
Yeah.
pretty much anything. It's kind of like Diabolic Intent in that way, right?
Okay. We got a board wipe of Calling Ritual, which is really strong with Cabbage Man,
Oh, yeah.
because all those food tokens are very hard to pop.
And your opponent's Cabbage Man, right?
Yeah.
So, like, they can flip their mana, whatever. I'm making potentially like 50 mana off of this thing, depending on how many cabbages there are. Like, that's phenomenal. And worst case scenario in this deck, you can spin it into Thrasios. Like, worst case scenario. So,
And notably, you don't hit Valley Flood Color,
Nope.
Ska, or
Nope.
Dozen.
nope. Or your
Or
own Cabbage
Cabbage
Man,
Man,
right?
yep.
So you still keep it, even if you get rid of all your foods, you still have it around for later. It will be permanent mana again. So this card has been really, really good. I know you've been talking about it in TNT a lot too.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the perfect decks for it. Again, you're just trying to ritual and then cast one tutor. You'll win the game off of that one tutor because you have all that black mana or all the green mana for a Dosen. Again, whatever it may be. No, I think this is like one of the more perfect decks for Calling Ritual for sure.
For sure. Kind of mana / card selections, just because, well, this is a standard cEDH card.
Yep.
Either it'll give you 6 mana or give you 3 cards pretty easily most of the time.
Oh, yeah. And I think there's some early games where this deck isn't necessarily doing everything on turn 2, where you can go Thrasios Pass or something chill, and then eventually just go, all right, Jay, well, here's my win. Now I have my Fierce backup. Now I have my SWAT backup, whatever I need. And I also have extra mana and cards from this game.
And that's typically what happens when you see that card selection, man. I
Oh, yeah.
never see, when I play Jessica's Will, which is not often, I get 3 lands, but when my opponent plays Jessica's Will, Counterspell,
Underworld Breach.
Lands like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, cool.
Oh, I'm gonna lose right now.
Cool.
Oh well.
So that's kind of funny. Praetor's Grab, as we kind of talked about, is 1 colorless, 2 black sorcery. Search target opponent's library for a card and exile it face down.
Yes.
Then that player shuffle your library. You may look at that card and play that card as long as it remains exiled. And I believe this follows timing restriction, correct?
Yes. It doesn't break timing restrictions. No.
No, it follows it.
Yeah, it does follow. Yeah.
Yes.
Correct. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. This used to not get played as much. It fell off a cliff of the meta because it just wasn't as good to not, because you would get Dockside Extortionist from people's desk.
That was like the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Or their clone of Dockside Extortionist or whatever it might be. Yeah.
But now it fell off the meta, but I guess it's making a resurgence. What are some good targets aside from like win cons?
I think the thing you're like, again, win cons like Thoracles or breaches, things like that. But now you're seeing more of, again, clones for something value on board. Your opponent has the thing you want on board. I'll just take their clone or someone else's clone. I'll take their Cabbage Merchant. If I can't tutor mine, I'll tutor their Rhystic Study, their Mystic Remora, whatever it is. If you can get their Smothering Tide, things like that. I think we're really just seeing either engines, or if you, for some reason, exile your win con, something like a Tainted Pact or Demonic
grab somebody
Consultation,
else's.
you grab their win
Yeah.
cons. This card has been very, very good and helps in a deck like this where you don't have, again, white silence effects. So you can be like, well, I have a win, but I don't have any ways to protect it. So I'll go, I want to steal your silence. You don't tell them they're stealing the silence, obviously. You grab it and you're like, cool, silence. And they're like, oh, that's what you're doing for?
And it's face down too, right? So
it's face
nobody
down.
knows what you're
It's
doing.
not like opposition agent. It's face down and stays there forever. So you can also just wait for 4 turns, and then at the very last second, like, oh, no one has anything? Silence, Valley Flood Caller, and then you just win the game. This card is super, super varied and wide, again, depending on what your opponents are playing. So sometimes it's less good if you're playing 3 off-meta decks and there's nothing you can really help and get. But that's usually not the case. There's usually one like, Blue Farm or Rogthras or Kinnan where you can get something very good, very helpful for you.
Rod of Flame is a standard kind of ramp card. Sometimes can make 3 if an opponent already casts a Rod of Flame. Then Wheel of Fortune is a standard, like draw 7, discard 7, discard 7, draw 7. Sorry.
It's value, but also like if you really need to, you can win with it if you brain freeze everyone and then cast a Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Right.
Did not need a Fairy Mastermind as a win con.
No, not in here. Again, this one's a little more lean. I think it's mostly just like, I'm just trying to get that Necro on the stack.
Yeah.
Win
with the Necro and all the protection in the world. Oracle is one of my ways to win the game. Basically.
Because you have more breach lines and better breach lines, I don't think you need it as much as like, TNT Mate or Rogthras Might, where you have less secure win cons, basically.
Yeah. The last sorcery speed that it also fell off the meta quite a bit, but it's making a resurgence. It's Jaxmo's Will, which is 2 colors, 1 black sorcery. Into end of turn, you may play cards from in your graveyard as though they were in your hand. Cards put into your graveyard this turn are removed from the game instead.
Yes.
So the first thing that jumps at folks is that, okay, so you play this card, how do you win with Underworld Reach? You don't.
You're not. That's the answer. You're not.
You use this card as a way to get like win cards from your deck and put them back on the battlefield or put back on the stack. So any counter spells, any ways to potentially recast your Mnemonic Betrayal, your Calling Ritual, your Demonic Tutor, cards that you need that are just they're already spent essentially.
Yes. So a lot of the time what you're doing with this is just going for a way to make sure no one can win, and then, a Thrasios Oracle, because you can't Underworld Breach with this card at all. It just goes straight to exile for everything you do. So it doesn't really work. Unless you can get Brain Freeze count high enough, you might be able to like Brain Freeze the first time some people, Yawgmoth's Will, Brain Freeze again, however it might be, and then cast that Wheel of Fortune or some type of effect like that. But this is mostly just for value and or again, your push turns where you have no other option. So you have to do this. You can, again, tutor again for a Flash Enabler or a Praetor's Grasp, a Silence effect. Again, these kind of convoluted combos have to work together very well because the win cons themselves are good, but you need backup plans for when the win cons go south.
And this is a replacement effect, right? This is not a trigger effect, so this is not like Necro.
No, this goes right to exile.
Right. So like in Necro, you can at the end of the turn, you can potentially do some Underworld Breach and Brain Freeze because you can always be responding to the Necro trigger, correct?
Exactly. Because of how Necropotence works, it's a trigger in your cleanup step, where instead of just discarding it, you'll put it into discard and then you'll have a trigger to exile it, which you can then respond to because you gain priority. This is just immediately like, oh, you have a fetch land, you fetch, it's in exile. There's nothing you can do about it, nothing you can say about it. It's right in exile. It's actually funny because this card puts itself in exile because of how the effect works. The spell is still in the sack while it's resolving. So then once it resolves, it goes to exile. So
Ledgering in Magic. No, yeah, good point. Can't already cast this card with Snapcaster Mage. No.
I was Snapcaster.
Evan told me the card's bad this weekend and I wanted to try.
No.
He roasted my TNT deck on the flight to Buffalo.
Yep, I was in between you guys and I was like, Mom and Dad are fighting. I'm gonna let them fight.
Don't worry. I was like, can we just open the plane window so I can just jump off?
We have a lot of instants, kind of like what we saw earlier.
30
instants.
This reminds me of Raul.
Yes. This is so many.
This is a lot.
And a lot of it is actually interaction, which I expected a little bit less so, but we can go over some of it.
Let's go through the interaction package. Yeah. We won't define every card because I believe some of these are already kind of standard, but we have an Offer You Can Refuse, Autumn's Bell, 2 Chain of Vapor. I think this is Dark. Yeah, Days. It's 4. Deflecting Swats, 5. Like you can count Deacon's interaction if you like as well.
Kind of, yeah.
Like 4.5, let's call it 4.5. 5.5 with Fears. Cluster Storms 6.5. Force of Will 7.5. Mental Misstep is 8.5. I'm already losing track of how many numbers I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll just say
Mind Break,
9. We'll say 9. So then Mind Break is 10.
10. Noxious Survival is interaction.
I count Noxious Rival for sure.
To 11. Pact of Negation is 12. Pyroblast is 13. Red Elemental Blast is 14. Swang Song is 15. Tainted Pack is technically a tutor, which can get you any free spells. I'm going to count that. 16. And Bellstormer 17.
That's a lot.
I'm pretty sure I missed something there and my numbers are off, but 17, anywhere from
everything
15.
was right. I don't really count necessarily Mystical Tutor as much as I do maybe a Noxious Survival. Because again, it finds interaction, but that's more of a tutor to win. Outdoors is interaction. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think there's actually a lot of, again, protect your own spells in here. Things like Daze and Force of Will and Pack.
Free spells.
All these free spells where you're just like, well, I don't want to spend my mana to win, but I know you're tapped out, so I'll make sure that I can still win through that. Again, things like Pyroblast and Red Blast are also really good right now because of how much Ristics there are. It hits Thoracles, it hits any counter spell your opponents have pretty much. It's very good at defending your win, but also stopping your opponents.
I 100% I think. I mean, the interactive package of 17 cards, it's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
This is like, I think it's almost as much as like Kinnan on Waffle's list.
It's not as much necessarily free interaction like some like the Shoal or things like that, but it's way more of the like premium pieces that you have in other colors, right? We don't all get, Vampiric Tutors and Tainted Packs and Bound Consultations or Deflecting Swats, but all these spells will, again, layer very well with how your game plan is and how much mana we saw. Again, the creature package is entirely mana and a Thassa's Oracle. So you're going to have one mana lying around most of the time.
Yeah, agreed. Other cards that are just kind of unique are Born of a Win. This is just your Flash Enabler. Crop Rot will either get you Emergent Stones if it's in the deck, Gaia's Cradle if it's in the deck. I don't know if Gaia's Cradle is in the deck because of the low creature.
I don't think it would be, but we'll see.
And then potentially Cavern of Souls. Yeah, potentially as well.
I think for sure this is mostly an E-Zone Crop Rot, but also like, my Ancient Tomb because I'm going up
on that Gate, potentially. To face out any sounds effects?
Maybe.
Or I'm not sure.
Potentially.
I'm not looking at the last skill.
I'm a little more skeptical on Talon Gates than I am like Gaia's Cradle, but we'll see. We'll see.
Other cards, we have an extra turn spell, which is pretty standard for kind of these breach decks. You're like, okay, I'll go to this card. I'm set up. I sculpted my perfect hand. Now I'll take my final turn kind of thing. Yeah. We have some. Wow.
That's Dark Red.
That's Dark Red. Sorry. We have some sort of like ramp-ish burst mana, if you will, rituals. So we have Dark Red. I think I saw another one as well.
Calling the Red was on the left.
Calling the Red. Cabal Ritual. So the standard one.
Yeah, Cabal Ritual.
And Metamorphose. That was a new one.
This is more so to get your, let's say you have your Necropotence pile and you're trying to win right now and you have maybe only one mana. It helps your non-blue land and your Simian and or Elvish Spirit Guide make blue mana now. So if you don't have blue before, you can get blue mana after. You can actually hit also Simian and Elvish Spirit Guide if you have no mana to start winning the game, because now you have changed those to blue, cast my Born, or my Final Fortune, because I can't cast Final Fortune with an Elvish Spirit Guide and a Simian. I need 2 red. So it does help some of these issues. It also cracks some Vamp Tutors or some Mystical Tutors or things like that. It's just a little bit safer in terms of color fixing, though.
It's a good color fix, and it just also draws your cards, so it cycles itself.
Exactly. It's totally free. It's like playing a 97 card deck because you have 2 commanders. It's good fixing.
Obviously, we mentioned Adnos a bunch. This is your I'm going to win the game if this resolves card, because I have so many low value spells in my deck that will just win the game.
The few only big things here are things like Force of Will. There's some Beseech the
Mind Break, Beseech the Mirror.
But everything else is either mana, very low to the ground mana cost, or free rocks, which we'll get to in a second.
Calling Rituals also 4. And then all your creatures are either 4/3 as Torn. So there's a few forts, there's a handful of forts.
Okay.
And then,
I forgot about Stormkill Artist as well, yeah.
Then the last one that jumped at me, Mystical Tutor you hate.
I wouldn't say I hate it. It's a little better in this deck. I just don't like it. I'm a hater.
I hate it too. I think this card bad. Kevin's gonna tell me.
But getting Mystical for Nas is way better than things we're doing.
It's just so telegraph. You lose all sense of relax. Exactly. Like people are gonna be like looking at your turn and be like, okay, how do I stop your card that you're about to draw from happening? Am I going to brain freeze you at end step? Am I going to do X, Y, and Z?
Like sage you something of yours?
Or sage you like, am I supposed to silence you before you draw? so you don't have the card.
Exactly.
Like
It's-
there's so many cards, right?
It's a little safer when you have something like, oh, well, I'm just gonna mystical tutor for dark red, which is still scary, but like, well, that could be.
That could be, I mean, that's also like Answers on Necro or something.
Yeah, it could be kind of scary, but it also could be like, nah, guys, it's okay. I'm not gonna Necro or Nas. But then you're like breach, and you're like, oh well, I didn't know that was coming, so it's harder to play around things like that. I just am less of a fan of the card right now. I think it's still good in this deck. I just we're haters of mystical tutor.
Oh, I'm a hater. The card that I actually really like seeing is Summoner's Pact, because I was talking about this card a few months ago, and then I had to get off it because it wasn't as good in my deck.
Yeah.
But the fact that this just gets you Cabbage Merchant essentially
Mhm.
is what I assume you're tutoring. That or those in
I
are
think
the two cards you're getting.
Cabbage Merchant, Docent, most games, and then actually a lot of games from what I've heard, it's Elvish Spirit Guide.
Really for that extra green.
Yes. If you're trying to Necro or Nas, you just need your mana right now to win. You're at 2 life or whatever. I'm not getting an extra upkeep anyways. I'm winning right now, and I need that mana. This 0 mana, find a mana, right? But most of the time, I feel like it's going to be Cabbage Merchant, Docent, those kind of effects where you actually get your advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's all the instance. I know there's
Yeah.
more of them. We kind of just talked. They're also like standard cEDH cards or spells or staples, I guess.
I think everything except Autumn's Veil in this instant package and maybe Summoner's Pact are like very, very clean regular cards.
Can you read Autumn's Spell for the class?
So it's basically Veil of Summer, if you guys know what that is, but it's a 1 green instant that says spells you control can't be countered by blue or black spells this turn, and creatures you control can't be the targets of blue or black spells this turn. So it's a little bit worse than Veil of Summer.
because you don't draw the card.
You don't draw a card, but there's some times interactions where it's also relevant. This doesn't say all of your spells can't be countered this turn. This just says blue and black spells can't counter your spells this turn. So you can get red elemental blasted. You can get pyroblasted. Unlike how Veil of Summer works, where Veil of Summer actually reads, draw a card if an opponent has cast a blue or black spell this turn. Spells you control can't be countered this turn, period.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit worse, but it's a second Veil.
Sure.
You're still going to play it.
Yeah.
You have a lot of green mana in this deck, a lot of dorks.
Most
so
counter spells are blue anyways, right? Like
95%
yeah.
of counter spells are blue. There's Withering Boons and Red Elemental Blast.
Mana Tide.
Mana Tithe, right? But this is going to work just as well 88% of the time.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we're on to artifacts.
We are on to artifacts.
Yes.
So we have 12 artifacts. We have Arcane Signet, Chrome Mugs, Felloware Stone, Lion's Eye Diamond, Lotus Petal, Mana Bolt, Mox Amber, Mox Diamond, Mox Opal, Soul Ring, Talisman of Dominance. Literally all are mana rocks. And then we have Wishclaw Talisman as the only kind of tutor that we see.
I think this is relevant. Again, most of these decks trying to win very early are on the Wishclaw. It's still very good. It's like 3 mana Demonic Tutor, turns on your Mopal sometimes, things like that. It also means you can, just like with a Demonic Tutor, crack your Elodie in response to tutoring and do some shenanigans like, I don't know, Necro or Breach or
Sure.
Naws or whatever. Card's good. And again, the rest are just mana rocks. They're very simple, very clean. We're not missing anything here. So
No, I actually just realized we're not on Red Flare, by the way.
we're not on Red
You're
Flare,
you're never ever casting Bow Smasher unless again you have 3 mana and you have nothing better to do.
if your opponents are at 2 life each, I guess we're casting Vial, but
Yeah.
we're never casting it any other reason.
Enchantment package, we have Carpet of Flowers, Seeing a Resurgence,
Interesting, yeah.
Mystic Remora, a standard, Necro Dominance, like you mentioned, Necro Potence,
Yep.
Heuristic Study, and Underworld Breach. So pretty standard.
For these turbo decks, right?
Enchantment package. Can you tell folks the difference between Necro Dominance and Necro Potence and just which one's typically better and the difference between them? Because I feel like that's a conversation that we all think we know what they do or what we all assume Necro Potence is better. We don't really understand why.
Yes. It's kind of an interesting one, and the only, I think, real upside to Necro Dominance, because it is legendary, it is potentially uncounterable with things like Delighted Halfling, or I guess that's really the only effect that does it. But no, this card is strictly worse 99% of the time. It says 3 black like Necro, but it says skip your draw step. Again, that's the same. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay any amount of life. If you do, draw that many cards. So let's just stop here at this text line because there's a lot going on. Necropotence doesn't draw cards, but Necrodominance does. So what does this mean? This means things like Bowmaster really, really, really hurt you. This means things like Smothering Tithe get all of those treasures, right? This means, I don't know, Sheoldred, I guess, would matter. This also triggers things like Masterminds or opponents draw more cards. You're getting a lot more negative synergies here, but because of how good Necropotence is, you just want a second one. The next stat line is very relevant. Your maximum hand size is 5. So you don't even get a full 7 off of a Necro. You have to go down to 5 or win right now, right? So a lot of the time, this deck is just trying to, again, win immediately after they casting it. Things like Manamorphose and then both Spirit Guides, Final Fortune, Born Upon a Wind, Valley Flood Caller. That's what you're wanting. And then the very last text line is if a card would or token would go into your graveyard from anywhere, exile it. This is not a trigger like Necropotence is. This is straight up a replacement effect, kind of like Yawgmoth's will.
Mm-hmm.
If you cast an Underworld Breach and then cast a Lion's Eye Diamond and you crack it, all of those cards go to your exile. There's no trigger for you to respond. There's no anything. You need to get rid of this Necro Dominance if you want to breach immediately. Similar how I was talking about earlier with the cleanup effect of Necropotence, you don't get that. So if you're silenced and you have to discard, you just discard and the next opponent goes to their turn. There again, is no trigger.
I think the word difference is if a card versus whenever you discard.
Yes.
Card.
Whenever is a trigger. Whenever, or if are triggers. If a card would go into your graveyard from anywhere, exile instead. Because it's saying something and then something else, kind of hard to describe here. It's a replacement effect. I know this says if, but it's different. It's not as good.
Trust Joseph.
Yeah. Necro Dominance, again, is here to win the game, but it is way worse than Necropotence.
Notably as well for Necropotence, it's only when you discard cards that go to your exile pile.
Yes.
Because you can have a card resolve and it's still going to be in your graveyard, correct?
If you cast a Pact of Negation and it resolves, it goes to your graveyard, that's totally fine. With Necro Dominance, if you cast a Pact of Negation, it immediately goes to exile.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that you didn't discard it or, mill it or any way. Like, no, this is just going to exile no matter what. So you get that card once and that's it. Strictly worse, something that, kind of like I was talking about earlier, you want to be Beseech the Mirroring after you get all your good cards in your hand. But is relevant because if you can win right off of it, you win right off of it.
Awesome. I think that's it for enchantments. Let's move us to the Lancers. I'm really excited to see how close or how off we were in the lines. So I see an Ancient Tomb, Arid Mesa, Badlands Bayou, Bloodstained Mire, Boseiju, City of Brass, City of Traders, Command Tower, Emergent Stones. There's one. Exotic Orchard, boo. Flooded Strand, Forbidden Orchard, okay. Gemstone Cameras, boo. Mark Flats, Mystery Force, Otawara, Polluted Delta, Calling Turns, Taiga, Tropical Island, Underground Sea, Burden Catacombs, Tropical Island, and Foothills. So no Glass Cradle and no
Talon Gates.
Talon's getting on the Carnival one as well.
But no Cavern of Souls. But we did see the E-Zone. I think that makes sense.
It was just E-Zone. It's just little E-Zone.
Yeah, I think E-Zone and Ancient Tomb are your only ever crop rotation targets. Maybe to color fix your green mana for something like an Elvish Spirit Guide. You get a red source or blue source like a Volcanic Island.
Yeah, you'll get Command Tower at that point, right?
Exactly.
It's still in the deck.
It's good to note that there are still synergies with it. You don't have any way to like Bird-y, make ritual mana, but maybe something like Flood Caller, untapping your Birds of Paradise, right? That instead of just making the one mana from a land, it actually makes you a second mana. There's still some synergies to it, and again, it finds most of your E-Zone, but lands are pretty stable here. We're not seeing crazy stuff. I know you and I are neither a fan of Exotic Orchard, but I think in this turbo of a deck, it's okay.
Yeah, you're hoping to copy somebody's color, which makes sense.
And the colors you're needing, the only thing you don't want is white because you don't care about it. Yeah. White is one of the least played colors besides things like Timnachrom. So like, you're pretty fair.
People are gonna have blue.
Yeah, people are gonna have blue is a really important thing, right? And
blue, green, or red. Yeah, most of the time.
Very, very good.
And Emergent Stones, I think this is the one that is going to be get by crop rotation. It's just add a card list and then pay one, tap this, sacrifice Emergent Stones. You may cast instant speed spells.
Yes,
you can play some flash speed. Again,
it's another Born Upon a Wind, it's another Valley Flood Caller.
Three flash enablers in the deck.
Yes, and unless you're casting crop rotation to get it, you don't have to cast anything to crack this. So it's way less interactable with things like counter spells. You just can't counter the effect very easily. So it's very, very good.
Yeah. So that's the package. That is the deck. I think on first sight it looks pretty cool.
Yes.
It definitely gives me Blue Farm vibes, but it's just more fast. It's faster. In my opinion, we'll see obviously Kevin's the expert on this deck. So I'm sure, hopefully in the comments, he's writing us a thesis on like how these guys were super wrong about this deck, and here's the actual input on it.
Pigeon an idiot. Necrodominance is the best card of the deck. Necropotence sucks. No, I'm just kidding.
So check out the comments for Kevin's essay, or maybe he won't have an essay.
He always does watch these and leaves a good comment, so I'm sure he will. It might be a few days after, but again, let us know. Maybe there's some things we missed or messed up on. I'm happy to admit I've messed things up in the past, and you guys have blamed me for it. I make mistakes too. I'm not perfect.
I'm human.
I might play a lot, but that doesn't make me that good. No, I'm just kidding. This deck looks super, super cool. I do actually want to try it soon. I'd been a fan of Vial Thras maybe a year or so ago, kind of when we were doing our TNT arc together, and it wasn't really good enough without Dockside. But I think again, Cabbage Merchant can make it push through easier.
I totally agree. And I want to point out that last time, actually, coincidentally, Jonah and I were actually talking about Thrasios Vial for his TNT corner
Yeah.
that he joined. So he
Last
actually
week.
last time we talked, and he actually had a TNT deck put together.
Yes.
And I wanted to compare it to Kevin's deck.
Evans.
So this is Kevin's list at the top, cards that we kind of just literally just recently talked about, and then we are cards that Jonah
Is playing.
added in his version of it. So off the bat, I see Jonah's more creature heavy.
Mhm.
I see Fairy Mastermind, Mockingbird, Seaborn Muse, Kinnan, Orcish Bowmaster, and Endure Vitality. So he's kind of like, he's a Kinnan player at heart, and that's why we see Mirror Maid in the deck.
You got a Guy's Cradle in there. The Basalt
That's
for
all-
things like
yeah.
Kinnan. There's a little bit more, again, creature synergies and less
Yeah.
so of the turbo stuff.
Yeah.
We're not seeing the Jessica's Will, the Praetor's Grasp. I think the Necro Dominance. Yeah, we're still on
Necrodominance
Necro
isn't like-
Potence, but not Necro Dominance. The
Yeah,
Docent
correct.
isn't in there. Summoner's
Bone
Pact
Bristle's
isn't
not in
there.
there. Yeah.
He forgot Cabbage Merchant. I think he should definitely be on
That-
Cabbage
that-
Merchant,
But
but
this is spells a Garbage Merchant.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
Like something. Probably
Um,
Seaborn Muse maybe.
it's a little bit older. I think it's like just a few weeks, so maybe I hadn't put it in yet. But no, I think he's going for a similar thing. He's again still on Necro, still on Ad Naus, but more so of the make permanent mana than how Kevin is on a lot of the more ritual type effects, right? Again, you're on things like Seedborn One Ring also, but you're trying to get like your Enduring Vitality down in your Thrasios, maybe trying to spin some more than the other deck is. There's more balance, I think.
If I were to compare both decks, I think Kevin's version is more similar to Blue Farm's
Yeah.
approach to the gameplay versus Jonah's version is more closer to Kinnan or even TNT at that point,
I agree.
where you're like, it's a little bit slower, but it's looking to control more, interact more. They have, I mean, the same amount of interaction to an extent. Let's say we have one difference here. Let's say we have
Days, I guess.
one,
Days and
two,
offer.
3 versus
Dispel,
Dispel.
negation, cyclonic rift.
Yeah,
That's the same
it's
number.
3 for 3. So
Yeah.
they have a lot of interaction. So it's just a different play style. It's kind of cool. I mean, I'll link both versions before and just try both of them and see which one you like. I don't think I think both can fit different play styles because that's typically how Thrasios decks more or less play.
I think the thing we actually forgot was that negation actually isn't in Kevin's deck.
That's a good. That's actually
Slanting,
really, yeah.
slanting more towards that turbo again, trying
Waiting
to
on
win early.
someone's turn.
Yeah, he's not trying to necessarily be like, oh yeah, I'll stop your win attempt. Like, no, I think I'm gonna win it on top of your win attempt instead, right?
Yeah.
Very interesting to see. I think we've seen some of the ROG side lists as well be cutting negation. Maybe things like Mindbreak Trap too. Kevin is on Mindbreak Trap, but I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I don't know the worthiness of not playing it or not. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
There might be an there might be an essay on the comments about why Force of Negation is not a good card.
Actually, Force Negation isn't a good card because
You
it
know,
only counterspell sometimes, and sometimes it costs 3 mana. No, I think it's a good comparison, right? We're seeing
Yeah.
more of the again Kinnan type of deck.
It's and the cards stand out like very like similar. Like the game plan is very clear in Jonah's version,
Yes,
and the game plan is very clear in Kevin's version.
they're well outlined decks.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, as we kind of close out this podcast, I wanted to ask you, what deck are you playing now, Joseph? Are we still in our saga, or have we landed on a certain Simic commander?
Right now, we are playing a certain Simic commander. I'm playing Kinnan. I talked about this a good bit before Avatar came out with a lot of people. I think with Avatar coming out, things like Cabbage Merchant, Wan Chi Tong, things like Unagi of Kyoshi Island, these cards that came out from Avatar are very, very, very good in Kinnan. And you're actually slotting more of the free interaction, kind of like you were talking about earlier. This deck is playing so much free interaction. I'm actually trying Badger Mole Cub even right now, and I think it's been pretty good. All these cards are going to slant you more towards, well, I already make all my mana with Kinnan. Now I have more draw enablers in blue. I have more free interaction pieces. I have more ways to get combo pieces. It's felt very good. I don't know if you've watched any of the games we've been playing recently. They've been pretty ridiculous the second any Cabbage Merchant comes out, because then everyone clones it, and then everyone has like
20 million
infinity
mana.
mana to interact with each other, and then it's kind of whoever has the most cards. So playing all the Ristic clone effects is also really good right now. Things like Clever Impersonator included. You can spin into another Ristic or fish.
This falls into the obviously you talked about those and
Yes.
also told me in your deck. This kind of
Testing
reminds
style.
me more or less Evan Waffle's list of no bad cards Kinnan decks.
I think the only we're on like maybe 7 or 8 cards different right now. It's really not too much. The biggest thing for sure is like Docent. I'm trying a little bit of different stuff. Oh, Hidden Strings, my favorite card in the past year.
Fast Raul.
Legitimately, like I played Raw and played this card, and it was the best card in the deck, like bar none. This card has been phenomenal in Kinnan every single time, because there's games now where I'll have, a talisman tap I will then untap a talisman and my Gaia's Cradle or my Mana Vault. I'll go to combat, I'll attack with it again, untap 2 more rocks, and all of a sudden I have 12 extra mana for 2.
Mm-hmm.
This card is so good, and in a deck like Kinnan where you're inherently doubling your mana, it being 2 is totally free, even if you just untap a talisman in a land or
Because you're always more
birds in a
likely going
land.
to be positive, mana positive, very
Exactly.
easily. But it's like almost very
It's what the
difficult.
deck
It's
does.
hard not to be mana positive.
Exactly. And there's things like Grim Monolith and Mana Vault where you're making tons of colorless and then you're turning that not necessarily into a spin, but something scary like a Hullbreaker Horror, right?
Mhm.
And you're like, I was never going to have this mana beforehand, but now I can do it. And it was only 2 mana to do so. Very, very good card. I've been loving it a lot.
How do you like Wang Qitong on the deck?
Wang Qitong is really good. I haven't been able to use it as my infinite mana outlet yet because you can pay, 100 mana, draw 50 cards or whatever, or obviously a little more than that. But, it's been good value engine. No one ever removes it, kind of like Archivist. We talked about that a long time ago.
Yep.
Like, no one's swords to plowsharing's your Archivist of Ogma. It's been good. It has flying and vigilance, so I get to beat up on some of the Necro decks a little more. It also means I can attack and then tap it with Enduring Vitality if I have that out.
And it can be untapped because it's a bird.
It does get on top with Flally Floodcaller, right? More synergies, right? This card is just good.
Keeps adding.
Another draw engine is what we want in these decks. That's why we play all the Ristic clones. It's again something really good, and no one will ever counter it. It's also technically uncounterable with a Delighted Halfling too. So I've never done that
That's
yet.
hot.
But if you
For
tap
some
it
reason.
if you have infinite colorless and you tap your
sure.
halfling, then you're like, I'd like to draw 75 cards, and they're like counterspell. I'm like, okay,
Resolves.
it's still on the stack, as I've been saying all day. No, I think it's very, very good. Cabbage Merchant by far is the MVP. You're making all that mana. It's not doubled by Kinnan, but you are getting more mana on your opponent's turns, which is all this deck wants. You see all the 1-drop interaction here, right? Most of it's free, but the 1-drop interaction is what matters the most. Things like Veil of Summer, Flusterstorm, some bounce spells. Dramatic Reversal is 2, but that is also
A ram
sometimes
spell.
win the game, right? Chain of Vapor, things like that. Very, very, very good, and it's been super relevant. I've been loving this deck a lot. Still playing some Raw as well, but I think with how Avatar again slotted these good cards in, it's the best deck in the format right now. I think it's better than Blue Farm, and that's a bold claim. I'll get some heat from in the comments. I don't care.
They'll come fight you. They can. I mean, split up or shut up, right?
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
from getting on a tournament or don't. I mean, that's kind of the.
I'll fight you with my deck.
Yeah. No, that's really sick. And again, I'm happy to see the Summoner's Pact. God, I wish I'd say in that card so it could be like, I was training it before everybody else.
I think I wasn't playing it before I just recently added Dosin, but because of Cabbage Merchant,
Yeah, and Dosin,
Enduring,
green creature.
Endurance, like it makes it better.
Yeah, especially for endurance as well, because that's a way that you can stop a win on the stack, right?
Any Breach, any Thoracle, any a lot of times actually relevant. I've been enduring seeing myself more because
sure.
I'm running out of cards in deck and counter spells, and I want them all back in my deck so I can draw them. It's been very good.
Okay. That does it for us. 4 out of 6 members of MTG Basics now play Kinnan. That's kind of cool.
Good luck, Raul.
Yeah, good luck. I lose to Kinnan. Kinnan is a bad matchup for TNT.
Listen, I'm not a bandwagoner, but I think it's really good right now.
Oh, that's cool. So the reason I don't actually change decks is because I play Modern beforehand.
Yeah.
And I have like the mentality that if I don't have the cards, then I just don't get to play them for unfortunately. So I don't own all these other cards. So I just
Totally fair.
I just have like the mentality of like I'm going to play TNT because I own all the cards for TNT and I will just continue my path and make it better or not. And
I'll tell you this on the podcast, and I know you don't love proxies, but I actually got a second of this exact copy of deck in as proxies. I have mine, and then I somehow have a second of the exact same deck.
Like a standalone?
Yes.
That's hot.
It's like I think there's like 3 cards different, but it's like 97 of the cards are all proxied. So I might give that to you to try playing Kinnan.
Just shows up with Kinnan one day. Everybody's having a mental breakdown because Raul's playing something that's not the
5 out of 6. Let's see if we can make it 6 out of 6. The Kinnan squad.
We all our hair green and blue.
Mine has been both green and blue in the past. So.
Anyways, that's it for us. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let us know what you think about Thrasios Vial, Kinnan, Frenzy at the Fall, coverage feedback. We're always open to feedback and just anything. Although I think we will have one more podcast before the year ends, which we'll be doing our demonic consultation kind of giveaway. But yeah, it's been a pretty fun 2025. We'll probably do the last podcast, just kind of wrapping up the year and just kind of thoughts on the year.
Say thank you and everything like that. Give you guys a big warm welcome, which we do anyways, but we're gonna probably do a little bit bigger. Again, let us know if anything is crazy that I said, because I did say some funny things at the end there.
Like Kinnan being the has that format.
I want the flame. I want the flame. Come at me, bro. No, thank you guys again. So let us know if there's anything we messed up on or missed
You spoke.
down below.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.